Now to increase hip extension, that is to stretch iliopsoas muscles, which is primary hip flexor muscles, the patient is positioned close to the edge of the treatment table. The patient is brought towards the foot end of the treatment table and the person is half hanging beyond the plinth. The hip which is being stretched should be extended beyond neutral, so that is why we are arranging this kind of position. The opposite side hip and knee are flexed towards the patient's chest to stabilize the pelvis and spine. The patient's opposite leg has to be stabilized with one hand, or we can have the patient assist by grasping around the thigh and not around the knee joint, so that to avoid unnecessary pressure over the knee joint. It helps in prevention of anterior tilt of pelvis while we are applying the stretching force. Now the limb to be stretched is extended at hip joint, and if it is allowed we can go into hyperextension by placing downward pressure over the anterior aspect of the distal thigh. We have to allow the knee to go into extension so that two joint rectus femoris muscle, which causes hip flexion along with knee extension, does not restrict the range, and we can isolate our stretch force to the iliopsoas. As an alternate to this position, the patient can be in prone lying position where we can support and grasp anterior aspect of patient's distal femur. We can stabilize patient's buttocks to prevent movement of the pelvis in anterior tilt. Then we will extend the patient's hip by lifting the femur off the table. These are two images showing both the techniques. For self-stretching of iliopsoas, there is one position called Thomas test stretch. Here the pelvis is stabilized by holding the opposite hip in flexion by the patient, of course, as it is a self-stretching technique, and weight of the thigh creates a force so that the hip is going into extension and allows the stretch force to be applied to the iliopsoas. We have to again allow to go knee joint to go into extension. If we maintain the knee in flexion and hip joint in neutral position of rotation, then there will be stretching of rectus femoris and TFL or tensor fascia latae muscles. So this is also a self-stretching position for rectus femoris and TFL. This is another position which is known as kneeling fencer stretch or modified fencer squat posture, where the hip flexor muscles and other soft tissues anterior to hip joint are stretched by shifting the body weight into anterior direction on the leading foot. The muscles of the rear foot or posteriorly located foot are stretched. Now to increase hip extension along with knee flexion by stretching rectus femoris, which is two joint muscle, the patient can be positioned in any of the positions which are previously described for iliopsoas. One is supine at the edge of the plane and second is prone position. The hand placement and procedure will be almost same, but when the hip is in full extension, we have to move our hand to distal tibia and gently try to flex the knee joint as far as possible while maintaining the hip in neutral abduction and rotation. Self stretching for rectus femoris. One, it can be done in the position where patient lies half out of the plinth and does self stretching of iliopsoas. Same position can be used. Second is in standing position where the femur is kept straight or in line with the trunk and knee is flexed to the maximum extent. Here we have to take care that posterior pelvic tilt or lumbar lordosis is not being developed.